Welcome to Payne Sports Central, home of UTRGV Sports.
The chess team are national champions once again.
Checkmate! What? It's my catchphrase.
Get a new 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab for $36,000 to $995, or $26,000 to $995 for a new 2025 Chevrolet Colorado Crew Cab at Payne Westlaco Chevrolet and PayneGM.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
V's up regardless.
Good morning, everybody. We are back for our final episode of Coffee with Coach O, November 3rd, Season 3. As always, Kevin Naro, Coach the Lotus Holguin. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
So the Lady Bloodhounds season wrapped up this past Saturday at Second Baptist, and that's it. The season is over, and the Lady Bloodhounds will now head into the off-season. Overall, the Lady Bloodhounds, non-district, district season, and into the postseason, we saw a lot of good flashes. We saw some growing pains, and on Saturday against Second Baptist, pretty good team, but the Lady Bloodhounds, that first set I think that was really the tone setter. I think the girls were up, 22-19, somewhere around there. Wound up losing 25-23, but nonetheless a valiant effort from the girls in the playoff game on Saturday.
Yeah, and that first set, pretty much all season long, that's the way we've been. We kind of were right there, but then if we don't get that first one, it kind of
Yep. And I said that during the game that was really the Achilles heel of the team all year, where we look back at certain matches and say, we had that first set won, and if we were able to take that first set, you can just do the math and say first set check, third set check, and then you give yourself a chance in that fifth set. And it was, and that's because it was 19-10 in that first set at one point. We were down by 9.
Yeah, we were down by a lot.
We were down by 9, 19-10 in that first set, and then we stormed back to take the lead. What do you think changed in that first set?
I mean, I've tried to think back to what the difference was, and I just little things, little spurts, that their outside hitter, she came on pretty strong.
6.
And the freshman.
Yep.
And I think it kind of stunned us. We had talked about the defense and exactly where you need to be, because for the most part we've seen that same outside hit going to that same area. And so I think the first time that it happened, I kind of saw some little eyeballs kind of get really wide, and I went like, but this is where it is, and I think we struggled a little bit on defense, and I think that's what hurt us. But I mean, really, I'm proud of the way this group of girls played, because the fact that they didn't have their whole team there, but I thought they pulled together and really worked hard and stuff. So, but I think it was mainly our defense that we really struggled with, and not being able to get our hand at least a touch on the block really hurt. So, when you're playing a team like that, that's got that type of hitter, which we've seen all season long, you really have to step up the defense to have a chance.
For sure. And in that third set, it was the opposite. I think we led as much as 8-1.
Well, no, we're 8-0.
8-0 right out of the gate.
Yeah.
What do you think? What changed there in that second half of that third set?
We were having a hard time offensively. And I kind of looked at the stats, and I mean, I think we might have had 2-3 kills in that set, and the score was, 22. And I think when we were up 8-0, I never, I'm like, okay, you've got 8 points, so you've got to lead, but you can't relax. And I don't know if we kind of relaxed, but I know we did struggle offensively, and I think that made a huge difference. We were getting the ball back. They made a lot of errors. I think it was that set they had a lot of
Yes,
errors,
yep.
and so we were getting those points. But when we had the serve, we weren't converting, and of course that goes back to your offense. So I think that was the main thing. Is offensively we just couldn't get a.
I think just with with 8 girls, just I think the fatigue might have kind of started to set
Yeah.
in with the hitters just a little bit.
I'm sure because we were really focusing on 2 and hindsight, I think we should have moved the ball around a little bit more and give Gali a break, give Sienna a break. But because that's mainly who was swinging at the end there. It was just them 2. And I mean, chalk it up to inexperience too. I had 3 freshmen there, and I think back, I think I texted a friend of mine and I texted you and I said, we almost won a bi-district championship with 3 freshmen, 2 from the JV team, because we really only had 6 girls from the original varsity there, and then filled in those 2. And I started thinking, and I was like, that's kind of mind-boggling to me because we were right there.
Yep.
And I think that's harder to, like we were talking about, I'd rather lose by get blown out than
Yeah.
lose those really close ones, because then you go like, if we hadn't missed a serve, if we had gotten that dig, if we just little thing, especially that first set, we were up and then we lost by 2.
Yep.
And but I give them a lot of credit because
for
they
sure.
stuck with it and they didn't quit. Out there on the court, they didn't quit, and that's what I expect. So
Yeah, other than the second set where Second Baptist won it fairly convincingly, the first set, I know we were down late, rallied, took the lead late, and then the third set, we were up 8-0 at one point, and that's why you just look back at it and say, we really didn't get outplayed by a mile, where it's like we just got wiped off the floor with Second Baptist, but they had the freshmen, and they had 6 that were making some pretty big
Yeah.
swings, and that really
they're lefty.
Mhm.
They're lefty. They played smart.
Yeah, they were very clean.
And
for the most
they
part,
were. And I told, except for that one set, they
Yeah.
really did have a lot of hitting errors.
Mhm.
And I kept telling the girls, I was like, just, don't play careful, because that's when when you play cautious, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's when the team can sneak in and take the lead and stuff. And just play and just play aggressive, but play smart. And we've talked about tipping all year long, and we're not really a very good tipping team. And when you look at it, if you have 2 blockers coming to the right or the left, the middle of the court is wide open. And we've talked about tipped, and I even told them there's a center circle and there's a big old white area. That's where you need to put the ball. We kept going over the block, and they were there because that's the defense they play, and they play it pretty tight. So they there was some points where I thought we could have scored even off of a tip, but we were just, in the heat of the game, your brain's not doing a lot of this. It's just react. So, but yeah, I struggle to think, what if,
Because we've certainly, like, just my opinion, I think, St. Mary's was a tougher out.
Yeah.
Saks
They
was a
won,
tougher
by the
out.
way.
I saw
They
that
won
they
their
won.
first round.
Yeah, I saw that they won.
Yeah.
Victoria was a far more tougher out first time around when they came down here. So that's why when I saw it, I was like, this is a winnable game. Like,
Yeah, it was.
When I kind of got the feel for it and warm
Yeah.
up and kind of got the feel for it in that first set, I'm like, we're not exactly getting blown away.
No.
Like, this is something that we can put together and do. And
Yeah.
that first set, like I said, I said it on the air that this is the Achilles heel of this team, is that if they're able to just win that first set against Saks,
Yeah.
win that first set against St. Mary's at St. Mary's, like, the even here at home against St. Mary's, that
Yeah.
it could have been a different outcome, or at least you give yourself a chance to possibly take it to that 5th set, because that's
Yeah.
what it would have come down to.
Oh yeah.
It would have for
Oh,
sure would
definitely.
have come down to 5
Yeah.
sets, and once you get to that 5th set, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's open. It's there for the taking.
Yeah, it's just a matter of going out and doing it,
But yeah, you mentioned the inexperience with the young freshmen that
Mhm.
I forget that Maya's a freshman, 'cause she's been around all year
Yeah.
long and stuff. But one point that I brought up with Valentina was that she didn't seem the lights didn't seem too bright for her.
Mm-mm.
Um, she went in and got a couple of good swings,
Mhm.
and then eventually got that first kill.
Mhm.
And when I saw that, I said, here's a girl who's a freshman. She's never been in the playoffs.
Mhm.
She's never heard of Second Baptist. She didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that's when you see these freshmen play more
Really.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And when they find the confidence, that's when you really see them
Mhm.
kind of start to thrive in those moments. And I thought she did really well offensively, being able to swing the ball and make some really good plays. And
Yeah.
because you're playing with house money. You got nothing to lose.
Right.
And the freshmen, like I said, they don't know any better.
Yeah.
I think, considering, that was their first playoff game, I thought they played, exceptionally well.
No, I thought so too. I thought so too. Her and Jimena. Jimena, I think, kind of
Mhm.
just had one moment of deer in the headlights, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I thought they played well. I mean, overall, we did. I think what makes me feel not so bad about not winning was that I thought they just didn't quit. They didn't, say, oh, we're,
Yeah.
let's just get this over with and get out of here. They kept, they didn't quit. They kept working it, and kept trying to, score points and stuff. So
Yeah, and that third set was the same as the first, except
Yeah.
that it was just flipped though.
Yep.
We let that lead slip away,
Yeah.
but they were still, fighting till that last point. And I
Mhm.
mean, it was really anybody's match or set at that point in that third set. So Laredo, they wound up getting Fort Bend. Do you know if Sax won? Or no, they had the bye.
Sax has a bye,
Sax and
and
Victoria had the
Victoria
bye.
has a bye. Both of them
That's right.
had a bye.
That's right. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know LSA, that team, I was looking at the district and I was like,
Yeah, they got
Okay.
Fort Bend. I saw
Yeah.
that they did lose. I don't know how many sets they went, but I did see when I put in my scores and stuff, it popped up. But yeah, I mean, it was a tough season, and when I think about it, our record, the numbers and stuff. You talk about a losing season, but really it was a growing season, I think. Our numbers, of course, are not in the win, column, but I thought overall the kids had a good season.
Yeah, and you look at that 5-7 district record,
Mm.
and you look at the the Sax game that went 5 sets here.
Mm.
You look at the Laredo game over there.
Mhm.
That's 7 wins. You
Yeah.
flip those two at 7-5,
Yeah.
and I think the conversation and the mood is a lot different. And you say you went 7-5
Yeah.
with just those 2 games alone. And then of course the surprise this year, at least to us, was St. Mary's.
Mhm.
'Cause those, we
More
usually
like a shock.
uh-huh.
More like somebody went. "Zzz."
Yeah, like, hey, we're here. We've arrived. I mean, maybe other than the people inside of that locker room knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And then, you tack those 2, that's 9 wins.
Yeah.
And that's where this team has been, 7, 8, 9 wins a district season.
Mhm.
And then you usually split with Sax. So, Laredo, Victoria, we split with them last year.
Yeah.
So this year was the district was a lot tougher this year.
Oh, way
than
tougher.
than I think it's been in the past.
Way tougher. And and then I look at the
Yeah.
our schedule the whole season, and we played all those teams. We played the Harlingen, we
Yeah.
played Vets, we played
Los Fresnos.
San Benito, we played Los Fresnos, and all those teams were the top teams in their district.
Mhm.
And so I felt comfortable. I told the girls, I said, you have your core here. You have your core, so you'll be okay in that playoff game. And I felt comfortable going into that match. I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, But yeah, it was trying. I'm sure it was. It was for the kids, and you know, when you're used to having winning seasons, it's kind of like I don't know, more mental than anything else.
For sure.
So,
Yep.
but I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them.
This is Coffee with Coach O. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will just recap the season and we'll review some high points, and we will give you kind of a teaser on what's coming back to the program next year. There is a lot to be excited about in the sub-varsity levels and even at the junior high level. So when we come back, we'll break that down. This is Coffee with Coach O.
Welcome to Payne Sports Central, home of UTRGV Sports.
The chess team are national champions once again.
Checkmate! What? It's my catchphrase.
Get a new 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab for $36,000 to $995, or $26,000 to $995 for a new 2025 Chevrolet Colorado Crew Cab at Payne Westlaco Chevrolet and PayneGM.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
V's up regardless.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC
There's no place like Sherryland ISD. Returning students need to district work here, learn here, or tuition-based enrollment. Register now. Call 956-584-6408. Sherryland ISD. Excellence is our tradition.
No matter where you are in life, Texas Southmost College is here to help you move forward. Whether you're starting fresh, changing careers, or gaining new skills, TSC has affordable programs designed to fit your goals. It's time to take the next step. Think big. Think bright. Think TSC.
Welcome back. Our final episode of Coffee with Coach O. Again, oh, got it there. A wardrobe malfunction there.
What's going on?
There we go. There we go. There we go. So season 3 of Coffee with Coach O, again every Monday morning here in the Bloodhound Cafe. I wish I would have kept track of actually how many episodes, but I think we can maybe get a guess. I'm gonna do the math later.
Of how many we did?
Yeah, from
I
first.
don't, yeah, I don't think we started until tournaments were over.
First year.
Oh, the first
The
year.
first year.
Yeah, I don't know when we started.
I want to say it was in late September because the funny story is that that Monday is my first year here. I had already gotten tickets to a Guns N' Roses concert,
I remember you mentioning that.
and that was when I started here. I had told Tino, I said, hey, on this date I had already had these tickets. He's like, it's cool. So the concert was that Monday night. That Tuesday morning I woke up in San Antonio, and then I made it here for our first show.
I remember that.
So like, how are you? Oh, I'm good. I was just at a concert, 8 hours ago, and I drove from San Antonio down here for our first show.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's dedication.
Yeah,
That is
No,
dedication.
seriously. No, it was a week. It was a week. Yeah, we had a long week. I was telling people, the week started in Waco Sunday,
Yeah, that's
Monday, and it
crazy.
ended in Houston on Saturday
Saturday,
with
yeah.
volleyball and football
Yeah.
in between and all
Yeah,
that.
this was a crazy week for you. I can't imagine.
Mhm.
But then you are a youngster, so you can handle
yeah,
it.
yeah, yep. I was still there at church yesterday morning, ready to go.
Yeah, me too. They kind of looked at me and they were like, "Were you okay?" And I'm like, "I got home really late last night. I'm still kind of asleep."
Hmm.
But the time changes.
The time change. It did go an hour back, so that did. And you feel it. You wake up, it's like I got that extra hour of
Mhm.
sleep. It's always. I'm a fall back kind of guy. I prefer fall back than spring forward.
Yeah, me too.
I like it
Me
when it gets
too.
a little darker later, and you get that extra hour.
Mhm.
The spring forward, as long as you lose that hour
Yeah.
that day of, it's
The
like,
only thing I don't like is that my body's already accustomed to waking up at 6. So when I sat up this morning and looked at the clock and it was 5, I was like, come on, you're kidding
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So
For sure. So again, the Lady Bloodhound season did come to an end on Saturday, but there's a lot to look forward to with this team. Bidding farewell to up to 4 seniors. Next year, that's gonna. I think we counted 8 seniors, incoming seniors next year. I could be wrong, but there's a handful
mhm.
of seniors incoming next year. This sophomore, Gali's class, they're going to be a year older.
Mhm.
The freshmen.
It's a small class.
The sophomore class?
Yeah, it's a real small
very,
class.
very small class.
Yeah.
It's really the junior heavy.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
next year will be top heavy with seniors,
Mhm.
sprinkled in with some juniors and maybe a couple of sophomores.
Mhm.
I think the window for this team it's still wide open.
It's still wide open.
It's still wide open.
Yeah.
St. Mary's, they'll graduate kids.
Mhm.
We graduating 4. Saks is gonna graduate a couple kids, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be a re. I don't really ever like to use the word rebuild
Mm-mm.
unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be more of a retool.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot coming back, not just next year, but the year after that. But
Yeah, because the freshmen that were, with the freshmen and the JV teams being successful this year,
Mhm.
there's opportunity to move up, and there's opportunity as a coach to say, okay, you from here, you from here, you from here. But the freshman group, I think there was a total of maybe 12, maybe. And then there weren't very many sophomores on that JV team. So like I'm saying, that sophomore group this year, which will be the junior group next year, it's pretty small. But the freshmen, you've got Valentina, you've got Jimena, you've got Kendall, Romina, Garza,
Reggie,
Regina Garza,
Mia.
Mia.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole
There's a lot.
there's a real good core group there that could help.
Oh, for sure. And it's funny you mentioned Reggie because this year she was my broadcasting partner in the Annette's another one.
Oh, Annette,
Yeah,
Annette,
she had
yeah,
a really good year.
yeah, she did.
Reggie did the games with me, right? And she did exceptionally well. And she was all bummed out at Victoria. I said, "What's our last broadcast?" And she's like, "Oh, like I'm so sad." I go, "Well, you're invited Saturday."
Mm.
She's like, "But I have the birthday party." I was like, "It's okay. Like
Mhm.
I understand.
Yeah,
but,
that was that's what I got from a couple of them, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
It's all good." So I told her, I said, hopefully you're not with me next year. She goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, I hope you're on varsity next year and the year after that." And she's like, "You trying to get rid of me?" I was like, "No." I go, "Don't you want to be on the varsity?" She's like, "Actually, you know what? You're right. Like, yeah, like if I'm here next year, cool. But like at the same time, like, yeah, you're right." No, no, yeah, the freshman team and the JV team, there's so much. The games were competitive.
Mm-hmm.
They were competitive, and a lot of those kids, we're seeing it's changed in sports at least in this time where traditionally you see freshmen, sophomores kind of just wait their turn,
Mm-hmm.
and they might not sniff the varsity until their junior,
Mhm.
senior year. But we're seeing a lot of these kids, like the Mayas, these girls that we have on the freshman level, that you could just plug them in. I call them plug in and play freshmen. I forgot, I was talking to one of my friends who's a volleyball coach, and I was telling him about our JV, and he's like, what do you mean, like they're running sets and they're setting the ball? I go, yeah, they run, they swing, they set. He just like, wow. He goes, they're really ahead of the curve. He goes, at my JV, I'm just teaching them serve, receive, and we're just sending the ball back and forth.
Yeah.
And I said, no, this is an exceptional JV group where they're far ahead of the curve as far as their gameplay and where they're at. They're doing more than the serve, receive. They're swinging the ball. They're getting kills. They're digging out the ball. And it's good to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's a really good group. It's a strong group, and it's I was telling them, like I told them on the bus on the way home after Victoria, I said, this is history. This is the very first time that the freshmen and the JV teams have had winning seasons in the history of since we started. I guess it was I don't know if it was 2017 or 2018, but that's when we started with TAPS. So this was definitely the best, by far the best season that we've had at the JV level, which makes it much more profitable for the varsity coach to say, okay, I want that one and that one and that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, that I was kind of sad to see Beatriz. But that was of course a family thing that they went back to Brazil because they had an opportunity. The parents had an opportunity for work over there back in Brazil. So, but she really came around this year. She did really, really well. But, and I told her, because they were really excited one match that they played really well and they won. And she said, did you see her and Machi? I think they came up to me and they said, did you see how high I jumped? Like she blocked the ball. And I said, yeah. And I said, you want to know why? And she said, and I said, do you remember what you were doing in the spring? And she said, oh, yeah, we were in the weight room. They were in that weight room. Like every time we had weight room, that little group was in there. And so you could really see the change of when they were at the freshman level to their sophomore level when they went through that program. Because they were very committed to it. So I told them, I said, it makes a difference. And so they were like, yeah, it did.
Yep. There's a lot to look forward to next year, also, with the girls that are coming back, on the varsity, this junior class very quickly in a blink, they're seniors. And I feel that, with the core that we have with the junior class and then what we have, with Gali, you're right. I just thought about it. That sophomore class is very
small,
very thin.
Yeah, very thin.
But she's gonna be a year older. She'll be a junior next year. The libero position, you're gonna have, Jimena a year older. You're gonna have Clara a year older. You lose Sophia, who was a DS. So you might be a little thinner at that position, but other than that, there's no reason for this team not to compete next year.
Right.
And just kind of, circle back to where maybe they were last year and the year before. Because it's like we said, this district was extra competitive this year.
More, the most competitive that I've seen since we've been in TAPS. The most competitive.
Because even St. Anthony's wasn't.
No, they weren't. They weren't over. No, they weren't a pushover.
And I know Providence didn't win any games, but they took a set from us here.
Yes.
Earlier in the year,
and that was a set that Gali didn't play.
Yeah.
So they would have made a difference, But either way, they did. They had that real good libero. Them and St. Anthony's both had a really, really good libero, and that makes a huge difference.
She might have been the best libero in the district.
Yeah, I think more than St. Mary's, because St. Mary's got it last year. But I think
the one from St. Anthony's, she was legit.
She was legit. She was. Of course, when we played them over there the second time, we were able to.
We figured it out a little.
We
more.
figured it out.
Yeah.
So she didn't have as many digs against us as she did here. But that match here with us, it was just like, where is that girl? Where did she come from? And everywhere we hit the ball, it was like she was right there.
Yep.
I kept saying, hit away from the libero. And they're like, well, I hit over here, she was here. And I hit over here, she was here. And I'm like, well, you gotta see.
Yeah.
So
We got a taste of our own medicine with Carmina.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to hit everywhere but there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know there's a couple, a lot of high points, this year, the Port Isabel tournament, I thought that was, that tournament, we learned a lot from our team, and I thought, that tournament, the girls showed what they could really do. And I know they lost the games to the matches to the 6A teams, but being able to go to Los Fresnos, to host Harlingen, to go to Veterans, to play San Benito in the Donna tournament. Donna tournament was successful too.
Yeah.
And then the win, the wins against the Hidalgos, the San Perlitas, and teams that we can match up number wise. San Perlita, they're in the playoffs every year.
Every year.
They win a couple playoff games a year. Hidalgo, perennial, power and 4A with Coach Benavides over there. So, there's a lot of bright spots this year, and I think playing those 6As really helped when we did see the St. Mary's, and then eventually when you did go into the playoffs, a team like Second Baptist.
Yeah.
The kids, it's nothing new.
No, it's not.
Nothing new.
It's not. So we shouldn't be phased by it.
Right, for sure. Coach, any final thoughts?
No, just I'm proud of those girls that finished the season and really were committed, and even though they lost, I think they had fun. We were on the bus ride home, and Gali was watching the game. I don't know how many times she watched it on the ride home, but and then Maya was sitting next to her, and then Maya moved over with her, and she said, "You know what?" She said, "I had fun playing with this group that played in this last match." Something like that, or I had fun, or it was good, or something like that. I said, "You're right. It was." So.
And also shout out to Maya Garcia for 500 assists, just as a freshman. So her mom had told me the little nugget pregame. So I'll go, just give me a thumbs up when she gets it, so I can announce it. So I had in the first set, I said, she's close to a milestone, and then she kind of looked over and gave me a thumbs up. I said, there it is. There's career 500.
Yeah, because they were going
assists.
back to see which one it was. I guess they heard you say it, so.
Yeah, because when
it
she
was
gave me
actually
the
I think Gali. They ran a C with Gali. They ran a slide with Gali, and I think that's when I was walking to the back of the bus to look for water or something, and I heard her say, "Here it is," and then I saw her run.
Yeah, when I said it is when she gave me the thumbs up. So I thought that was a pretty cool deal. So those are other bright spots too. Maya, Sienna, Ivania, all reaching career milestones, and of course with the JV winning as many games.
And
as
Gali's
they
close
did.
to 500. She's close. I can't remember
Kills?
what the. Yeah.
Kills.
Yeah. Kills, and she's pretty high on digs too.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the exact number is right now. But she's close.
Absolutely. So another thing to look forward to next year is the program just continues to reach hit different milestones with these kids. So I want to thank everyone again. I thanked you all on Saturday for religiously tuning in every match day on Tuesday, Saturday throughout the tournaments. Thank you, Coach O, for making Monday mornings, making time out of your schedule to join me every Monday morning. Miss Amanda for hosting us every morning here in the Bloodhound Cafe. If we weren't in here, we were in the Student Center because of either it was an asynchronous day or something funky was going on. We were either here or in the Student Center, but we had perfect attendance this year. And the reason we didn't have it last Monday is because I was in Waco. Yeah. But we made up for it on Wednesday. So good job, Coach. You had perfect attendance.
Thank you.
For Coffee with Coach O. So again, we're looking forward to next season, to 2026, as we put a bow on the 2025 season. Stay tuned for any postseason accolades that'll be coming out when they come out. Keep an eye on our social media sites for that. But again, thank you to all the parents who tuned in to the show every Monday and that watched all the games throughout the year. Coach, it's a privilege to be with you and to be with the team, for allowing me to help tell these kids' stories, and most importantly, bring the games home and away.
Well, we really appreciate you, Kevin.
For sure.
I mean, I was talking to my husband, Beto, and I said, he travels with us when he can. There's times where he can't, but I said, he's there all the time. He's like, if I look around and I don't see you, I'm like, I'm missing something, I'm missing a part of me. Where it happened?
He's not who's behind me.
But we really appreciate you.
Yeah,
and my girls love it.
Yeah, for sure. And if I wasn't with you, I was with someone else. It's not like I was at home or here or something. So
chilling, watching TV.
Yeah.
Eating chips.
Yes. So Monday. Yeah. for sure. But anyway, again, thank you to everyone who tuned in all year long. We're looking forward to another season in 2026. Believe it or not, it'll be here sooner than you know.
Yeah.
Basketball season is officially underway, and again, stay tuned for Double Dribble with Coach Sammy Lucio and Coach Rob Moreno, which I told you last time he doesn't know it yet, but we're gonna figure it out this year.
Yeah.
If not, Coach Drew will always gladly fill in. But either way, we'll be back here in the Bloodhound Cafe as we make that transition from volleyball into basketball. Taste of the Town is later this week. The
That's true.
football team, they have their final regular season game on Friday. So there's still a lot to look forward to here on the Bloodhound channel. And as far as the coaches shows, again, Double Dribble will be coming up. We're planning a new soccer show with our new soccer coach. So that's also going to be in the works as the winter sports start rolling in. So stay tuned for that. Coach, again, thank you for another fine season. The
Thank
Lady
you.
Bloodhounds wrap things up. One last time, this has been Coffee with Coach O. We will see you guys next year.
This summer, it's time to go